In thousands of homes, vigorous workmen rise to meet a new day and a new opportunity.
Life in the good old days. Dad went to work, Mom stayed home to care for the babies, right? But today, life is different. Frequently, both parents work, and many fathers must now juggle the demands of home and office.
It's your child, and it makes you think of your children first in the morning and last at night, and you sort of build in your work in between.
Tonight, how some men are finding that going from the fast track to the daddy track is a great way to derail a career.
This is ABC News Nightline. Substituting for Ted Koppel and reporting from Washington, Chris Wallace.
It should be no surprise, but it's turning out that the revolution for women in our society has also become a revolution for men. As more and more women go into the workplace, men are having to pick up some of the slack at home. As women try to balance the responsibilities of family and career, men are finding they must do the same thing. And as with the women's revolution, it isn't easy. Surveys find that by large margins, men would be willing to trade a slower career path for more family time. At least that's what they say. But when you talk to personnel directors of companies offering parental leave or flexible hours, they say few men take advantage of these benefits. They're afraid of losing their place on the corporate ladder. So what happens when a baby boomer's newfound sense of family crashes head-on into his fierce ambition? We asked Nightline's Jackie Judd to find out.
Go no further than any downtown daycare center to see what's called the new fatherhood. Men who not only want to be involved with their kids, but have to. Because nowadays, in 2 out of 3 families, both parents are working. It's not unusual at Kids First in Washington, D.C. to have more fathers than mothers sharing lunch with their children.
How are you doing?
When John Gorkowski interviewed at law firms, he set down certain conditions: restricted travel and no working days without end.
It's your child, and it makes you think of your children first in the morning and last at night, and you sort of build in your work in between.
Can you tell me what that stuff is?
John Knies says ever since Matthew was born, the briefcase he carries home at night isn't quite so heavy.
I do take some things home, but maybe not as much because I have time that I want to spend with him.
Sister runs.
Fastest.
These men are the lucky ones. They're able to spend time with their kids without running into trouble at work. Now meet a man who says his family cost him his job.
Okay, you can let go. Let go, Brett. My manager clearly told me, you're at a company where it's a disadvantage to be married. That pretty much summed it up.
Last fall, Jeff Coulter was fired from a lucrative sales job at Microsoft, one of the hottest computer companies in the world.
Push enter.
Coulter says he always worked at least 50 hours a week, but he also tried to get home before his son and daughter went to bed.
It was really a perception of time. I got in early, and I was typically the first or the second one in the office. And not everybody's around to see you when you come in early, but they're all there to see you when you leave, like at 5:30 or whatever.
That apparently wasn't what his boss, Leanne Boyle, wanted to see. Coulter secretly recorded 2 conversations with her.
Microsoft hires everybody who's killing themselves. So everyone who's killing themselves is competing against other people who are killing themselves, and it's like survival of the fittest.
Earlier, Boyle suggested that the survivors at Microsoft are not the married ones.
You picked a company where it's a disadvantage to be married. It's a disadvantage to have any other priority other than work.
Clearly.
There isn't one person in this company who's spending time with their family.
Based on those comments, Coulter is suing Microsoft, making the unique claim that he was discriminated against based on his marital status. And in so doing, Coulter is opening up a new front in a struggle that women know well, balancing the demands of home and office. A national survey last summer showed a surprising 70% of the men asked saying they would accept a slower career path in exchange for more family time.
It just seems like you could spend so much time working, and before you know it, your kids are gone, grown up.
Microsoft says that Coulter's problem wasn't time with his kids, that his boss's comments were taken out of context. The company says he just wasn't cutting it.
In some elements of his performance, he was successful. In the overall account management and managing of his employees, he was not successful.
Plenty of American men before and after Jeff Coulter have been discouraged from believing that they could make it on the fast track and be a family man at the same time. But typically the message is delivered in a subtler way, and typically the man doesn't fight it.
What's amazing is with what I've called the invisible dilemma, this conflict that men are feeling, how reluctant they are to admit it, and the steps they'll take to hide it so that nobody will see that they're in fact having this conflict between work and family.
That's exactly what bond trader Stephen Shorkey was told to do by his supervisor, hide the issue. Shorkey took advantage of his company's new paternity leave policy when his first child was born, but he was advised he should call his time off vacation.
The traditional perception in senior management is that any man who would want to take time to take paternity leave and take time out from their job to take paternity leave can't really be that serious about their career.
The bright spot in Shorkey's story is that his company had paternity leave at all. The government certainly doesn't mandate it, and fewer than 20% of big and medium-sized companies offer even unpaid time off. The experts say that American business is only slowly coming around to recognizing working fathers, but slowly may not be good enough, given the demand for change and the economic reality that both working parents have a hand in raising today's children. This is Jackie Judd for Nightline.
Nightline is a presentation of ABC News. More Americans get their news from ABC News than from any other source.